Hello guys, this is the Gaming Revolution here. So Vanguard Zombies has just received its biggest update since launch with Season 1 Reloaded, and it's actually rejuvenated the modes and brought some newfound life to it. The issue is though, despite this, like I talked about in my video the other day, I really feel like no matter what they do to the mode, it'll just never be good enough to rejuvenate the hype. The mode is too fundamentally lackluster and flawed to bring back players, and they have already been burnt by the unfinished launch to want to come back, even if worthwhile content releases. Season 1 Reloaded is a much needed update, and Anfang now feels like a more complete mode. It's a massive step in the right direction, but it's just nowhere near good enough and is still massively underwhelming. I think what the mode is currently is how it should have launched like if time constraints weren't an issue, well, with a main Easter egg quest and some side Easter eggs too being on the map, which we are still having to wait longer for, but I feel like the core gameplay is now up to par with how it should have been on release. And this is probably closer to the conceptualized idea that Treyarch had in their heads that they didn't get to fully implement on release due to these constraints put in place by Activision. Despite this, it's still really not that great, and most fans still probably won't enjoy it much. The biggest thing they added with Season 1 Reloaded is the addition of round-based Shi No Numa, something the community was begging for ever since launch, and Treyarch did say they weren't planning on round-based maps, but I guess they heard our feedback. Although it's not actually a separate map and is merely an objective under Anfang. I do think it makes the map and high rounds so much more enjoyable and easier though, but it just gets really boring really fast. You can't access it straight away as you have to complete a minimum of 2 objectives to open up Von List's office, so you can then take a portal to the new Void objective. Once here, after you survive for 3 rounds, you can choose to teleport back and you'll get a cutscene of court effects, or survive forever. It does get more challenging over time though. If you survive for more than 12 rounds, you will be granted with a reward, so you can never fall lower than level 2 perks when you bleed out. I do think this is a lot more fun than doing the objectives and shows that round-based is still the superior mode. Whilst I loved Outbreak and Cold War Zombies, I didn't like it for the repetitive objectives but the open world and freedom aspects that it provides. The problem with round-based Shi No Numa is that it isn't even the full map, it's literally just the hut. That's clearly because that's the only portion of the map that's actually designed in-game. This is unfortunate, and I would say that this tight and closed area makes for an intense challenge, similar to Groston House in World War II Zombies. That was a lot of fun even though it was a simple boxed-in map, but it doesn't make for a challenge. High rounds are now easier than ever in this round-based objective on Shi No Numa because the Tome of Rituals was just added. It's located in the spawn and allows you to upgrade your Dark Ether artifacts to tier 5, making them a lot better. This was a big issue on launch. They were all so much weaker than Cold War's field upgrades. You upgrade them with the hearts you receive for completing objectives. This provides some strategy in how you set up, deciding whether you want to spend them on the Covenants or the artifact upgrades. Because you only get 1 heart for doing the Void objective, although you'll have to pass a minimum of 3 rounds to return, it means that it's probably best doing all of the standard objectives on lower rounds until you are set up, so you don't progress too high into the rounds, and don't have everything fully upgraded with the hearts. On screen you can see all of the upgrades for the artifacts, but the best one to use for high rounds is Ring of Fire. As upgraded, it now allows it to charge whilst being used, making it practically unlimited. Combine this with the Brimstone artifact that deals damage to enemies around you over time, and because upgraded Ring of Fire has a damage bonus of 50% to 75% when staying in it for up to 10 seconds, it practically insta-kills everything that enters, making it so overpowered. You can then just camp in a spot where there's 4 zombie spawns around you in Shi No Numa and go for an infinite amount of high rounds at ease. It's one of the easiest strategies ever. I've seen a bunch of people going for, round 100 and stuff like that really easily. There is a Pack-a-Punch in Shi No Numa as well, so you can Pack-a-Punch here, but you will have to return to the regular map if you want to upgrade or change your Covenants, or if you want to get different weapons from the box, or if you want to buy your perks. But yeah, this is a really easy strategy. Obviously, because it is so easy, it does get boring and repetitive fast, but still way more fun than playing standard Anfang, to be honest. And I'll talk more about this in a second, but first of all, I have a message to share for you. This video has been kindly sponsored by the Mars Pro Bluetooth speaker, the latest 2021 edition from Gravstar. It features upgraded dual 2.5-inch full-range speakers, a 1-inch high-frequency tweeter, and 6 RGB lights, capable of producing strong and immersive audio. audio. It's an awesome speaker with a cyberpunk inspired sci-fi aesthetic and very easy to set up. On screen you can see all of the specs if you want to read them for yourself. From my experience, it's great for taking out with you, such as to the beach. It features 3 legs that you can prop up and is very sturdy, whilst also boosting an extra long battery life, able to support up to 15 hours long of playtime, which means you can enjoy listening to high quality audio non-stop daily. If you are out of battery, you can attach the speakers to the charging base, so there's never a time you won't be able to use the Mars Pro. Additionally, with an IP65 rating, it's both completely dust-proof and waterproof, so you can be worry-free about dust accumulating inside the speaker, as well as accidentally spilling water on it. Furthermore, equipped with Gravstar's proprietary audiophile level DSP audio algorithm, the Mars Pro is able to deliver deep bass, accurate mid-range, crisp high, and equal loudness contour, which allows you to listen to high clarity and punchy bass audio even at a low volume. I decided to listen to some classic Zombies Easter egg songs, and the audio is so crisp and ecstatic.
For what was something is just something in the dark that I can see is something frightening.
As you can tell, it allows you to hear and feel everything. Gravstar's speakers are the only speakers with this unique algorithm fine-tuned to deliver the best audio quality to its users. Equipped with the TWS Bluetooth version 5.0 technology, the perfect stereo surround sound can be achieved by pairing up 2 Gravstar Mars Pro speakers together and enjoy your audio without any transmission delay. It's very easy to pair the speaker with another device via Bluetooth so that you can play songs from your phone or whatever the case may be. It boasts a maximum 20 watt output with a high sensitivity of 86 decibels. With these specs, you can feel a stronger bass at loud volumes with less sound distortion and feel your music as much as you hear it. Like I said earlier, it has a space-age design made with strong zinc alloy material that protects it from scratches or damage if dropped. You are able to change between the 6 RGB lights with 2 different modes, where the first mode allows you to select a singular color to display, whilst the other mode will automatically change the colors gradually. This is better for using indoors, allowing you to make your room look cool and feel good as you blast your music away. So yeah, if this sounds interesting, you can check it out via the link in this video's description. Okay, so in terms of high rounds on round-based Shi No Numa in Vanguard Zombies, momentarily ago I just talked about within solo games, but for multiplayer games, it seems like it's a lot more fun. It does seem like Anfang in general is a lot more fun within multiplayer games, but I'm mainly a solo player. I've only really played it a few times with other people, but I know from other people who play it with other people a lot, they enjoy it a lot more, and it does seem like that's the same for high rounds on Shi No Numa for multiplayer games, as they seem to be a lot more fun than solo, and it's a lot more similar to classic Zombies, but unfortunately that's really all there is to do. This edition has made the game a lot better, but at the same time it's still really boring, and I think people will just do a few high round games at most and then never touch the game again. The experience in Shi No Numa is really unique compared to past experiences, but it's just not going to bring back players. Trek are stuck in a strange predicament, a trap per se, where no matter what they do, I think the game is still just stuck, to be honest. The mode's just really boring and there's just not enough to do, and even once there is more to do, I think people will still find it pretty monotonous and they won't even be intrigued enough to return to the mode. Drake did state that the next DLC map is going to have another hub location, likely in Egypt, probably the Desert Siege multiplayer map, as teased within the radios, so it'll probably be an objective styled map similar to Anfang again. People are obviously going to hate this. I just can't see this mode gaining any hype or traction at all in the future, especially if future maps are going to be just like Anfang. I'm sure we might see some different maps, but I don't know what they have planned in the future. But if the next map is just like Anfang, it's over. There's no way people are going to come back to the mode. I think that when the Anfang main quest releases, there will be more hype, but it'll only be momentarily, and that will dwindle down after a couple of days. I don't think anyone plays Vanguard Zombies religiously, and I don't think this update, despite it being pretty good compared to the game before, will change that. When I say this update is good, it's only relatively speaking, because it's still so barren compared to all past Zombies experiences. And what's confusing me is this Anfang main Easter egg is releasing in Season 2, and we know this Egypt map is coming as well. So is that going to be Season 2 Reloaded? And will that not release with an Easter egg again, and then we'll have to wait until the next season or the season after for its Easter egg? And are side Easter eggs coming? They've not said any are coming, so I don't really know what they have planned. Everything that should have been there on launch is just releasing later, so I really don't know how many DLC maps this game is even going to get, especially if the Easter eggs are releasing separately as their own content drops basically instead of part of their releases. If these Easter eggs are releasing separately, it makes the gaps where they can release main maps a lot less. We did get a teaser prologue quest added to Anfang, introducing a new Dark Ether entity that will aid us in the main quest that I posted a video on yesterday. This doesn't really give you a reward or is anything special, but it sets up a lot of cool storyline stuff. Vanguard Zombies' storyline is great, but because the gameplay is so poor, no one really cares, unfortunately. The other things that were added in this update is we finally have a Pack-a-Punch camo. I'm not sure why this wasn't there on release. It shows you just how overworked Treyarch are by Activision right now, and how this mode was rushed out in a short amount of time, clearly. Basic things we would expect on launch and now DLC. The Pack-a-Punch camo is red for tier 1, green for tier 2, purple for tier 3. It looks alright, but it isn't animated and only reflects in areas of light, and Anfang is a very dark map, so you don't really get to see it glisten much. The camo is also a reused one, as it's just the Infinite Warfare Diamonds camo that's just had a colour change, so that's disappointing. So yeah, the Pack-a-Punch camo isn't really anything special, and it should have been there on launch anyways, especially since it's literally just a reused camo. They are really scraping the barrel to just try and fix this mode, literally having to reuse camos. That just shows you how short on time they are. People like to blame the developers, but this is clearly a publisher issue, and issues with higher ups in delegating resources and time, and the gaming crunch culture. Next up, new weapons were added to Zombies, the Katana and Wellgun SMG. The most interesting though is the Riot Shield. You can apply it to your loadout or get it as a drop or in the mystery box. It's pretty cool to use as you can be shielded from the boss zombies' machine gun, and it does defend you a bit when it's on your back or if you have it out, but you still get hit. It never breaks though. Overall, it's probably not something I would use much, but it does switch things up a little bit if you want to try a challenge. Furthermore, they have added some support streaks you can buy from the crafting table for 3,000 salvage, or get lucky with a drop or in the box. Right now there's just the Death Machine and War Machine, both of which are fun to use and can help if you ever need to spray and pray, and they really help with taking out the bosses. A nice addition, but nothing too crazy. I do think the Death Machine is the better option than the War Machine. Finally, we were supposed to get solo/server pausing in this update, but Treyarch have stated that it's taken longer than they expected to implement for some reason, so that's honestly terrible. It makes going for high rounds awful, as you can't go to the toilet or food breaks, as the game will literally disconnect you after a few minutes, even if you are on solo. There's also a bunch of packet bursts that occur and lag, once again even on solo, because they don't have a proper pause feature and you are on servers for some reason. Hopefully we get it soon in time for Season 2. It needs to release in time for the Easter egg. I can't believe the game released without a server pause, and it's literally taken like 3 months after release for us to finally get it. There's clearly some back-end issues that we don't understand that's preventing it from releasing just yet. Overall, like I said at the start, this update is a big step in the right direction, and even though it greatly helps the mode, it is far from being anything significant or interesting enough to regain interest from the community and give them a reason to play. The only reason people will play this mode is grinding camos. They would not play it out of their own free will, and the camo grind is not fun at all. It's literally just camping at the objectives. I tried out everything new for a few hours in this update, and now I have nothing left to do. Cold War Zombies is still the much better mode. I do hope there can be great things in the future, and even though Treyarch are trying their hardest with these unfortunate circumstances by Activision, there's just no saving this game. So I'm just going to look at this game as a filler year for Treyarch to test out different concepts and ideas and see what we like, but I'm not treating this as a main Treyarch Zombies year. This mode is basically just filler, whilst it does provide a lot of really good storyline stuff, and I think it's going to fill our understanding of the Dark Ether a bunch. By the end of Vanguard Zombies' DLC cycle, I think we'll have a lot of really juicy storyline stuff, but because the gameplay's great, no one really cares. I will make a video once Vanguard Zombies' DLC is over with, summarizing the entire storyline of it, because I know a lot of people might want to learn about the storyline, but they don't actually want to play the game, so be on the lookout for that. Just a quick reminder that this video has been kindly sponsored by Gravs, if you want to check out their speakers down in this video's description, and you can also get a juicy discount. Anyways, thank you for watching the video, and make sure to subscribe if you're not here for the latest and greatest Call of Duty news and information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye.